Okay, what if I told you that you don't actually need to be a millionaire to live like a god? It sounds crazy, right? Well, the ancient Greek philosopher Epicurus believed exactly that. He argued that real happiness, it doesn't come from having tons of wealth, but from mastering our own desires. So today, we're gonna break down his surprisingly modern guide to personal finance. Here's how we're gonna tackle this. First, we'll look at what he called the modern money trap. Then we'll walk through a step-by-step guide to auditing your desires, mastering your baseline happiness, and completely redefining what it means to be rich. And finally, we'll get to the big one, conquering the financial fear that holds so many of us back. All right, first things first, let's dig into the core problem that Epicurus spotted almost 2,400 years ago, a problem that honestly feels more relevant today than ever. And that's the endless, totally unsatisfying chase for more. I mean, just look at this contrast. It's incredible. Society today tells us the god life means a six-figure salary, designer everything, and constantly upgrading our stuff. But Epicurus? He argued for the complete opposite. For him, true divinity was found in simplicity and just peace of mind. Just think about how powerful this statement is for a second. Zeus was the king of the gods, right? Unlimited power, the whole shebang. And yet, Epicurus believed that if his most basic needs were met, he could achieve a level of contentment that was just as good, if not better. He used this really powerful metaphor of a leaky jar. If your desires are just limitless, no amount of money will ever fill you up. The solution isn't to just keep pouring more money in. It's to plug the holes in the first place. And that brings us to our first practical step. So, how do we plug those holes? Well, it all starts with a simple but really profound financial audit. Epicurus taught that we have to sort every single one of our desires into three very distinct categories, or buckets. So here they are, the three buckets. First, you've got natural and necessary. These are the absolute non-negotiables: food, shelter, good friends. Then there's natural but unnecessary. Things like a fancy coffee or the latest gadget. They're nice, but they're not essential for real contentment. And finally, the most dangerous bucket, the vain and empty. This is that endless ego-driven chase for status, fame, and power. And here's how you actually apply this to your own finances. That first bucket, you fund it fully, no questions asked. For the second one, you consciously reduce those unnecessary luxuries. And what's cool is that this actually makes you appreciate them more when you do indulge. And for that third bucket, the vain desires, the goal here is to just eliminate them entirely. That is how you start to take back control. Okay, so once you've audited your spending, the next step is to actively manage your day-to-day experience. This is all about understanding a key psychological trap that honestly affects every single one of us. It's called hedonic adaptation. You know what this is. It's why getting that big raise or buying that shiny new car feels absolutely amazing for like a week, but pretty soon it just becomes your new normal. Your baseline happiness doesn't really change in the long run. Now, Epicurus knew this intuitively, and he developed a brilliant and kind of funny technique to fight back against it. He called it the cheese principle. Here's the idea. By living a pretty frugal day-to-day life, Epicurus kept his baseline of pleasure intentionally low. So when he'd occasionally ask a friend to send him a small piece of cheese, it wasn't just a snack. To him, it felt like a royal banquet. This is the key. It's like a 2,000-year-old version of a dopamine fast. By keeping your daily life simple, you make small, affordable luxuries bring you this immense, incredible joy. And all of this, it builds towards a completely new definition of what it means to be wealthy. For Epicurus, the peak of human flourishing wasn't about what you have. It was about what you don't have to deal with. So, the first pillar of this new kind of wealth is a state called Aponia. This literally just means the absence of physical pain or distress. Think of it like this. True wealth is a state of bodily ease and just plain good health. The second, and you could argue more important pillar, is Ataraxia. This is a state of complete mental tranquility, totally free from anxiety and fear. So if Aponia is wealth of the body, Ataraxia is wealth of the mind. And for Epicurus, this was the ultimate prize. I mean, think about it. A high-powered CEO might have a private jet, sure, but they also have a 24/7 schedule and the constant stress of running an empire. But a person on an average salary whose 9 to 5 covers their basic needs and who has their evenings free,
that person possesses a form of wealth, that ataraxia, that many of the richest people on Earth will never have. They own their time.
So, if the goal isn't just piling up money or a bunch of stuff, where should we be investing our energy and our resources? Well, for Epicurus, the answer was incredibly simple: friendship. He created this amazing community called the Garden, where friends actually lived together and supported each other. They practiced leithbiosis, which means living unnoticed. Basically, they were intentionally opting out of the rat race for status. Instead, they invested in what you might call social wealth, which they saw as the most valuable asset of all. And what's the return on that investment? It's incredible. Think about it. A great meal cooked at home with your close friends gives you about 90% of the experience of a five-star restaurant, but at a tiny fraction of the cost. True connection, that's the ultimate luxury. And now we get to the final and maybe the most difficult piece of the puzzle. It's that deep-seated fear of running out of money. The fear that keeps us trapped in jobs we dislike, buying things we don't even need.
Epicurus had a really radical solution for this anxiety. Intentionally practice poverty. Yep, you heard that right. For just a few days, you live on the absolute bare minimum. Eat the simplest food, drink only water, and do without your usual comforts.
The effect of doing this is so profound, it's like a mental reset. It proves to you, deep down, that the fear of the worst-case scenario is so much more painful than the reality ever would be. You realize that you'd be okay. And when that fear of lack finally disappears, you gain the freedom to actually design your life, not just survive it.
This single quote really says it all, doesn't it? True wealth isn't about having more, it's about needing less. Contentment is a skill that you have to cultivate, not a product that you can go out and buy.
So the real question for you is, which of these ancient principles could you start to apply to your own life, like today? Will you audit your desires? Will you try the cheese principle? Or maybe start investing more in your own garden? The path to living like a god might just be a lot simpler than you think.